Hello and welcome to Movie Film Studios, the only podcast that takes you inside the mind of two film studio executives as we unravel and then re-ravel the best that Hollywood has to offer. I'm Isaac.
And I'm AJ, and today we dived underwater with a billboard full of government secrets to bring you the latest trailers from Hollywood. Sure.
Yep, absolutely. It's a pastiche of all three trailers that we watched.
But can you guess which ones they are?
Oh, soon enough.
I don't think I can guess which ones they are. So, without further ado, I do believe it's time for Box Office Report.
Yeah.
So, last week, we released the stop-motion animated film The Curious Flight of the Hymenopteryx, in brackets underneath, a film by Isaac and AJ.
No, it was a full-scale stop-motion film.
Right.
By Isaac and AJ.
By Isaac and AJ, yes.
Strangely enough, and I'm not sure if it was a typo or it wasn't anything deliberate. When we said a film by Isaac and AJ, the people thought that was one person, whose name was Isaac and Najay. And he's got this sort of cult following, a little bit Banksy-ish. No one's not quite sure who he is. Yep. They feel as though with a surname like Najay, he might be like Indian or Pakistani. This auteur who's put out this incredible film. Yep. Because obviously in the box office report we talk about our films itself. The Curious Flight of the Hymenopteryx, incredibly well received.
Wow.
Out at the movies. Yep. Lots of. What's that? Is it the B from the film, or is it Oscar buzz? Because lots of talk about Oscar nominations. Obviously, we're very close to this year's Oscars.
We are, yeah.
One of the curses of releasing a film this early on is by the time next Oscars roll around, we may have been forgotten.
Yeah.
But
look, I'm personally still holding out hope that they'll nominate us for this year's Oscars. I know that they've released the lists already, but you never know. They revise these things. That's not a lockdown PDF that they issue out to the Academy members. They can edit it.
So every week we tend to come in with these problems, delays in filming, actors not sort of getting on board.
Yep.
We had no problems, none whatsoever.
Great.
And I think it comes down to what we did is ignore the 5 most poisonous words ever uttered in Hollywood.
Okay.
And they are, we'll fix it in post.
Yeah.
And what we did is no post-production.
Yeah.
At all.
So real straight to cinema.
Exactly. So, we're going to edit out the wires for the ants' legs. No. We'll just fix it in post. No, we'll fix it now and we'll get it done. So normally it takes ages to sort of build costuming and they'll CGI bits in. Yep. We just took 3D models of insects, whacked it into the 3D printer, printed it at 1,000% scale, costumes done. Put the actors in there. Why don't we, get a shot from this angle and a shot from this angle and a shot from this angle? No, we get 10 cameras and we just shoot it as the storyboard goes. Yep. No editing. Hey, why don't we go through and do some color correction? Hey, why don't we just light it properly the first time and not have to go through later? Why don't we put in some foleying? Yep. You know what sounds a lot like people stepping on the ground? People stepping on the ground. Why don't we just record it now and not just go, we'll fix it in post, which, as I said, are the 5 most poisonous words ever uttered in Hollywood. Right. Just get it the first time round.
So wait.
And that's what we did.
Hang on a sec.
The film runs for 1 hour and 36 minutes. Do you know how long we shot for? 1 hour and 36 minutes.
But hang on. How does this work? You said we shot on 10 cameras.
Exactly. So there's no need to reset the camera and shoot from another angle. We shoot 10 seconds on camera 1. We shoot the next 3 seconds on camera 2.
Yeah.
We shoot the next 4 seconds on camera 10. It just, and then instead of editing, it's all just going to the one reel.
Oh, great.
And all the cuts are just done live instead of fixing it in post.
All right. Okay. So all of our actors had to nail their dialogue first time.
There was one line that Dennis Quaid didn't quite nail. And I'm just like, you know what? We're not going to do it. We're going to take it. It was 99% good. And it's the one thing I'm just not happy with in the film. His final line of I'll get you next time. I just didn't think he was quite in it, but it was the last shot of the film. It only took us 1 hour and 36 minutes to film. I'm like, we can go back. We can reshoot it. We can edit. I'm like, no. We've shot with a philosophy of everything on camera as it goes. Easiest film experience ever.
Great.
And now, as I said, lots of Oscar buzz about this great film by someone the public is calling Isaac and Najee. And yeah. So again,
So hang on a sec. Does that mean that our profile has not moved at all as a result?
I mean, they know that Movie Film Studios was responsible,
alright,
creatively
that's fine.
responsible.
Yep.
But now we've got this sort of Banksy-esque auteur who's no one's quite sure about the identity.
All right.
And so there's. I did mention we got a lot of Oscar buzz for this film because it's just going around and everyone's like, this is the cute animation-y kind of film that everyone wanted to see.
Yeah.
Isle of Dogs isn't even out yet. Let's go see The Curious Flight of the Hymenopteryx.
Yeah.
The issue is there's now a lot of contention with our crew as to which Oscars we're going to get nominated for.
Oh, yeah. That's
because
a good
they're just
point.
like, is it going to be nominated for an animation film? No, because the puppeteer's like, it's not animation. We're the puppeteers. Is it going to be nominated for best costume design? Well, actually, we just 3D scanned insects and printed them out, so there's not a lot of costume design. Best editing, we didn't edit it at all. Best lighting, maybe, because we put a lot of effort into
best cinematography.
Exactly. Like, there's a few of them there, but like exactly where the film, like best acting, who gets the acting nomination? Is that the person in the life-size insect suit, or is it the person operating it?
Yeah,
is there a category for puppeteering?
Yeah, this is the Andy Serkis problem all over again.
Exactly. Where does it fit in? So, I mean, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it in 12 months' time.
I feel like they'll just make up a new category for us. At some point, the Academy will be like, well, this is just a film. You know when sound was invented?
Yeah.
The Academy had to go ahead and create a whole new category for best sound or best sound mixing in a film. Every now and then, a film comes around that just like breaks conventions and becomes a new paradigm in the filmmaking experience. And that's when the Academy says, well, gonna have to revise that list, you see.
Yeah, exactly. And The Curious Flight of the Hymenopteryx is that film.
It is indeed. Great. 2019.
Speaking of Oscars.
Yes. Yes,
the March 4th, I believe, this year is Oscar territory. Just a 3 short days from the release of this week's episode, somewhere along those lines. It's obviously this is the last episode that we're recording before the Oscars officially are announced.
Yeah.
And so with that in mind, we've done Oscar-themed trailers this week.
It's our Oscar special.
It is.
Why not? Our yearly tradition.
Now, I'd like to say we were not nominated for any Oscars
Not
this
even
year.
Tequila Gold?
So Tequila Gold didn't get an... I mentioned that the Salary movie, we got a letter from Big Hollywood that we got a nomination because we'd released a 3D animated film, and every 3D animated film that ever gets released gets an Oscar nomination. They got wind of the fact that we just used the motion capture dots to be salt in the movie, and they're just like, that's not animation. You didn't animate anything.
You're kidding me.
You just used the dots.
You're kidding me.
And I'm just like, well, what do you want from us? And they're just like, we want you to animate something. They officially revoked our nominations. So, I mean, I've already rented my tux. I'll probably still put it on and sit at home and pretend like I'm on the red carpet.
We'll watch the live stream or the live broadcast of it in our tuxes, and we'll occasionally hurl cider bottles at the screen.
Yeah, but I mean, having said that, no nominations for Oscars. Also, simultaneously, no nominations for Razzies.
Hey!
We are officially
nice
middle of the road film studio.
I think that's where you want to be.
Exactly where you want to be.
Yeah.
We didn't make any of the worst films of the year. We didn't make any of the best films of the year.
Yep.
We made a lot of films. and to be sitting that middle of the road is exactly where we want to sit as a studio, and I'm quite proud of that.
I think last year we made something like possibly 13 different films, 13 or 14 films in the space of, I want to say like 2 or 3 months. So
13 films in 13 weeks.
There you go.
So...
Well, that's great. I'm fine being in that. No studio starts and then immediately shoots to the top. There's always a arc. There's always a hill that needs to be climbed. We're climbing that hill. We're not going down that hill. We're not tumbling down into the depths of hell where the Razzies reside. No. It's a gradual incline. We'll get there.
We will get there.
Excellent.
So what trailers did we watch this week, AJ?
Okay, first cab off the ranks. And just to clarify things as well, we've chosen all Best Picture nominations. Well, not all of them, but a selection of Best Picture nominations.
3 of the Best Picture nominated films this week. There are a lot to choose from that we could have gone with the Best Actors and actresses and costuming and things like that. But really, we're making films and we want to know what the public's interested in.
That's right, yes.
We can get great performances out of any actors.
Yes.
We can get great costumes from any costume designer, but what are the subject matters of the films that the public really wants to see?
The public is apparently interested in big conspiracy theories from the government that are exposed by an American newspaper.
Right, in
The Post. Directed by Steven Spielberg, starring Tom Hanks, Meryl Streep, and a whole bunch of other actors you've definitely seen before.
Bob Odenkirk,
Bob
I think,
Odenkirk
was
is in there,
mix.
yes.
So Spielberg's got a bit of a thing for Hanks, right? There's
yeah. It's a long Hank affair.
Bridge of Spies was one of his other recent films.
Yep, The Terminal had Tom Hanks in it.
Yeah, Catch Me If You Can.
Catch Me If You Can, yep. Possibly The BFG had Tom Hanks in it.
I couldn't
somewhere.
tell you. Maybe if
Neither
it was
could I.
driving a train called the Polar Express in the background somewhere. Yeah, look, I don't know. This is sort of set in the post-Vietnam.
Post-Vietnam.
Yeah.
So the whole point of this, or the whole story behind it, is that the Washington Post has gotten their hands on a whole bunch of classified documents direct from the government, or stolen from the government, or discovered from the government, that basically they basically reveal that the government's been lying about the Vietnam War.
Covering up some sort of...
Which it's all based on a true story.
If it's not terribly clear, we picked 3 Oscar films that we haven't seen yet.
Yeah.
So whilst these are at the movies, and you yourself may have actually seen this film and know the plot, we're just basing it off what we've seen in the trailer, which is just like lots of close-ups of Tom Hanks going, we could get in a lot of trouble, and Meryl Streep's like, geez, we could be in a lot of trouble, and then Bob Odenkirk's on a plane, is like, I've got a lot of government secrets, and then there's like press conferences, you boys are in a lot of trouble, and it's just like, oh right, okay.
And then various news reports as well, with very wobbly sounding newsreaders talking about it. We have no idea what this film's about.
Yeah.
I don't know.
There's a newspaper which is a dying medium. They did something. They got their hands on something they weren't supposed to publish. They published it and or try and got it back. It's like, I haven't recovered the papers yet, is one of the first things in the trailer. Like, we published it and then we tried to get it back, or we should. I don't really know.
I don't know. And there's something about Meryl Streep becoming the boss of the paper as well. So
what are they going to do if a woman's in charge? Rabble.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. It's a lot of...
Yeah, so again, probably another Oscar nomination for Meryl Streep. I didn't actually look if she got a Best Actress one. I'm sure she did.
Probably.
Daniel Day-Lewis did a film this year. He got a Best Actor.
Of course he did.
It's just one of those years.
Gary Oldman got in there too for some other film. It is actually. It's the classic Churchill voice. Great. I don't know. I don't think it's in cinemas anymore, is it?
I'm sure a lot of these independent cinemas will do like a run up to the Oscars.
Oh yeah, probably.
Like putting all those films on, but
the best of. Yep. Great. I can't wait till a local independent cinema does the best of movie film studios for the year. And it's just like a week-long marathon of like all 500 of our films.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, great. All right, next trailer.
Next up is 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri.
Yes, starring Frances McDormand, not Michael Shannon, sorry.
Michael Shannon's in a different...
Sam Rockwell.
Ed Harris?
Ed Harris and Woody Harrelson.
Yes.
Is
Ed Harris in this? Because I
know.
always get Ed Harris and Woody Harrelson confused. And the issue is, one of them was always the one who was in the serious films, and one of them was always the one who didn't take himself too seriously.
Yep.
And now, like, Woody Harrelson's doing serious films, and I just cannot tell the difference between the two of them anymore.
It was definitely Woody Harrelson in this film. I don't know if Ed Harris was in there.
Yeah.
Maybe he was. I don't know.
I think it may have also said that Peter Dinklage was in this film.
He is,
but not in the trailer, apparently.
No, he was in the trailer.
It was?
Yep.
Okay. So, I mean, I spent probably the last 4 months, everyone comes with 3 Billboards is really, really good, really great. Yeah. I'm like, I don't really want to see another Coen Brothers film. Yep. They're a bit hit and miss. It's not a Coen Brothers film, apparently.
It's not.
I found out about at the end of the trailer. Martin McDonagh, is it someone like that?
Yeah.
Did this film he did In Bruges and Seven Psychopaths.
Yep.
Very, very funny, but also very, very dark comedies.
Oh, incredibly dark.
I thought this was going to be one of those serious, dark Coen Brothers, like, films like your No Country for Old Men. And then I'm just watching this trailer. I'm like, this is actually very funny. Like, there's really good lines in here. Oh, this is pretty good. I should probably... And then it's not the Coen Brothers. I'm like, I do love the Coen Brothers, but the fact that I thought this was a Coen Brothers film was one of the reasons I hadn't seen it already.
So now you do want to go and see it.
I do actually, quite want to see it.
So again, I haven't seen this film. Neither of us has seen this film. And from what we can tell, it's about Frances McDormand has a daughter who is killed.
Yep.
She is unhappy with the way that the local police officers are handling the case in terms of catching the person that did it, and decides to put up all these inflammatory billboards.
So there's 3 disused billboards outside of town. She puts it at, my daughter was murdered. It remains unsolved. What are you doing,
What are you doing?
Sheriff
Yeah.
such and whatever,
Yep.
Sheriff Ed Harris, who is played by Woody Harrelson. And the town sort of goes, this is very inflammatory. They all sort of like go, Frances McDormand, what are you doing?
Yeah.
They turn against her, and she's just like, well, I don't give a fuck. Fuck you guys.
Oh, yeah.
And just goes around kicking people in
Yeah.
the balls
And that's- and
punching them in the
that's-
face. And
Isaac has cleaned up the language there on that one. She gets quite blue
she does.
and quite feisty. And not only does she kick people in the nuts, but she also kicks women in the theoretical area where
yeah.
that stuff happens.
Yeah, just just lots of really funny lines, quick, whippy
Yeah.
dialogue.
But also with the undertone of there might be a conspiracy. There's a little bit of suspense and drama as well
Yeah.
with it. So kind of a mixed bag of genres and ideas and motifs.
Without giving too much away, what I've heard from people is that you leave this film not knowing how to feel. And I mean that seems to be a bit of a hallmark of a lot of these Oscar-nominated films, is that they leave you with a complex emotions. Do I agree with the main character? Do I not
Yes.
agree with the main character?
Yep.
Do I think it was handled? And emotionally complex, I suppose, is one of those
Sure.
hallmarks of a good film.
Yep.
Apparently, this is one of them. Probably worth watching if it got nominated for an
Yeah.
Oscar, and
Yeah.
it's a film by a guy who I quite like his body of work. So,
Yeah, I mean, we really should be watching these
Maybe.
films, to be honest.
possibly. Although, having said that, watching the trailers is enough to analyze what's going on and to make our own films. We don't really have time to sit down and watch
I
full
don't either.
films
No.
anymore.
This
so.
is why we went to this format, to be
Yeah.
honest. All right, last trailer for the episode is from our good friend Guillermo del Toro,
Guillermo.
starring Michael Shannon this time.
This one is the one with Michael Shannon and a girl. I haven't seen the woman.
No, I haven't either. So this is The Shape of Water, a combination sci-fi adventure love story.
Yeah, I mean, you say sci-fi. It is still set in like a like the 1940s,
1940s or thereabouts,
sort
yeah.
of. It's got that a little bit steampunkish to the way that it's set up, with lots of brass pipes and fittings.
Yep.
And it's got that classic Guillermo del Toro creature, sort of really nice prosthetic puppetry creature monster sort of stuff. I mean, he did Pan's Labyrinth, and that seemed to explore that quite a lot more, because he had a lot more fantasy realm to play around with, a lot more characters. This seems to be focused on one aquatic sea monster who looks quite a lot like Sam Worthington from Titan from when we did
Yeah, they're recycling.
exactly,
recycling
and also who I think I said in that one looked like the fish monster from Hellboy, which was a Guillermo del Toro film. Anyway, so it's just that one guy, and then he's in a 1940s secret bunker. The government have stolen him from a South American tribe and are running experiments on him. And there is a mute cleaning lady who develops a relationship with this monster. And then as the science experiments become more brutal and they taser him and they say they're going to dissect him, she goes, I want him to be free, and it all sort of spirals out of control as she decides to let him loose.
Yeah, and there's also hints that she might be getting her own set of powers as well. There's a bit in the trailer where she's shown to be controlling the water
Bubbles
droplets.
of water,
as she's riding on a bus or something.
Yeah.
Very whimsical, but whimsical with a hint of creepy, which is kind of where when the trailers for Pan's Labyrinth came out, everyone thought it was sort of like this whimsical fairy tale adventure for kids, and then it turns out it's like, oh wait, it's kind of like a pseudo horror film.
I mean, the Gestapo captain beats a guy to death with like a bottle like halfway through that film. And I'm like, oh, not a whimsical kids fairy tale at all.
But this one feels like it could actually go a little bit further down that whimsical fairy tale kind of thing, because it does sort of market itself as a love story between the deaf woman and this sea creature, this sort of mermaid-esque
creature, almost like a kind of a
maybe
creature from the Black Lagoon.
Yeah, exactly.
Sort of, not quite as scaly, a bit more amphibious, but that sort of style of sea monster.
Is that what Guillermo del Toro has done? Has Creature from Black Lagoon just gone straight to public domain?
Exactly.
He's pulled it out.
Is this another film in the Dark Universe? Am I getting closer to winning my bet?
No, it's not. Not officially. Unless Russell Crowe turns up at the end and starts going on about how they've got some kind of secret society and then we must take him away, then no.
Yeah. I mean, this film looks interesting and it looks well made. I'm very surprised it's got a Best Picture nomination.
Me too.
It looks, I mean,
but that gives me hope.
Yeah, exactly. Because I mean, Guillermo del Toro, whatever. I can't. Guillermo, which means to protect with a shield.
Really?
I mean, it's the same derivative of William in English.
Very well.
Guillaume. Del Toro of to protect with a shield from a bull, I believe, is the actual etymology of his name.
Fair enough. Yep. It's very specific.
Yes. He's done like very commercial Hellboy type Hollywood action films and a few other sort of. I mean,
he's actually been very hit and miss lately. So he came out like Pan's Labyrinth came out, and again that one. It was nominated for Oscars. I think it won a few of them. And then he kind of vanished for a while. He was attached to The Hobbit for the longest while.
For a long time.
He was like in pre-production for that and then had to walk away. And then he's always been trying to get In the Hall of the Mountain King going, I believe.
I quite like that.
Which he's had massive troubles with. Then he did Pacific Rim, which was pretty decent, but nothing like...
Book of Life? Did he direct
No,
that?
he didn't direct that. He produced that. And then, he's sort of been flitting around with producing and this and that. But he hasn't done a film like this for a while.
Yeah.
That's actually garnered a fair bit of attention.
Who knows? It might be quite an emotionally complex film.
It could be.
And that's why it's, good special effects. Well, I mean, a lot of it is sort of saying that it's a love story where the two main people can't actually talk to one another.
Yeah.
Which is like an interesting concept, but I'm not sure how you do well. They must have done it well if it got an Oscar nomination.
I guess.
And there's a line in there, it's like, he's not even human, and then the mute lady signs, if we do this, then neither are we.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's a really good line. But in a trailer, when she just sort of stands there moving her hands, and you have to read the subtitles, it kind of loses quite a lot of its effect.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, I'm like, well, is that just my hang up on like needing an emotional delivery of people vocalizing it and actually putting intonation on there? It's really quite interesting that they can't do that and to see how that'll come across.
Indeed.
Again, we haven't watched the film. We just assume it's good.
I think it's still out in cinemas somewhere.
Probably.
Limited release, whatever. Great. So there's our 3 trailers for our Oscar special. Now, there are, of course, a whole bunch of other films that got nominated for Oscars, but we really don't care about them.
No.
Also, I watched one of them because one of them is Dunkirk.
Yeah, I haven't. I don't think I've seen any of them.
No. Well, fair enough.
I mean, I spent most of last year watching the Emoji Movie and
Crocodile Dundee 3
in Los Angeles and a whole bunch of really other horrible films and not making any time to watch good and interesting and engaging films.
But that's fine. I think from these trailers, the things that stand out to me are emotionally complex story or emotionally complex themes.
Yep.
Historical kind of context for at least the Post and The Shape of Water.
It sort of feels that they both feel a bit nostalgic American.
Yeah,
and they all have an American setting.
They do, yeah.
Which I don't know if that's a bias with the Oscar judges, but so long as they're willing to nominate that, maybe we set ours in America just to placate them a little bit.
Why not?
Yeah. All right. Okay. Let's have a bit of a think. I think it is actually my turn this week to pick.
It is
3.
Indeed.
I haven't made up my mind yet. I need a bit of time to think about it.
What
should we do while I'm thinking?
I would propose we take a lovely old stroll 10 meters into your backyard.
Into the green room.
Into the green room. Here we go.
All right. I think the fresh air is really sort of...
I'm liking it, yeah.
Yeah.
It feels nice out here.
It is. It's really sort of cleared my mind a little bit. I can look at things with a little bit of a fresh perspective. So we have a near history piece about a dying industry that's people are in trouble.
Yep.
We have a small town, quick... witty dialogue about social injustice.
Yep.
Or we have a semi-fantasy sci-fi near past love story.
Yep. What a mixed bag.
And are we specifically tailoring this film to try and get nominated for the next year's Oscars?
I think so. I think we want to go... I know we've done this in the past. I know we sort of pitched Tequila Gold as the Oscar film to end all Oscar films, but we were going about it the wrong way. Because I think all we did with that was just like, well, we're just going to go for best costume, and we're going to just shove every best costume winner into our film.
Yeah.
But that's not the way to do it. That's clearly not what gets the Oscars.
We went laser focused. I think this time we need broad spectrum.
Yeah.
Really sort of try and hit as many categories as possible.
Oh man, does this mean? I mean, I don't want to.
It does. I think I know what you're thinking.
Yep.
I mean, I wanted to do the Washington Post sort of political thing.
Yeah.
But if we really want to go that broad spectrum
Yep.
of doing something that has every possible Oscar category that we can think of, we have to do the Guillermo del Toro creature near past steampunk sort of film.
Right, yeah.
That just covers everything. We can get nominations for costuming, for special effects, for
music,
cinematography, all of those things there. So I think that's probably what we're going to have to go for.
All right, great. I love that idea. So are we going for a love story, or are we going for... I mean, like... There's no reason why we can't have a political intrigue section of our film either.
That's true. Why not?
Like, why not mash them all up together? Surely if The Post can get nominated and The Shape of Water can get nominated, surely a film that is both of those, it's a much more convenient package. You don't need to worry about having two films. You can have one that has all of them in there.
I like it. I kind of like the idea of someone who gets nominated as the head of a dying industry.
Yep.
Who is also a creature or monster who has to wear like a prosthetic suit.
Hey, and you want to know? You want to know how we make this like emotionally complex? They fall in love with someone in the industry that's replacing the industry that's dying.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
All right. What's our dying industry?
Well, again, slightly controversial here in terms of what industry that we choose and therefore say is dying.
I mean, having said that, I mean the like There Will Be Blood is sort of talking about like this American oil baron.
Yep.
And that's obviously all now sort of done in the Middle East for the most part. I suppose there is some, but it's all mainly done by big sort of corporations. Newspaper sort of dying, print media is sort of already dead, and now we're sort of in the post-death. So we can choose anything from like the 1910s or 1920s. Pick an industry that's already dead. And then we tell the story of that dying and being steadily replaced by something else.
I had an awful, possibly terrible idea, but the phone book industry.
I don't mind it. I think I would prefer payphones.
Payphones
in the same sort of style. It is the guy who owns the payphone companies. And is slowly being phased out by mobile phones. And there's a few sort of and again, maybe we even tie in phone books as well, because they used to have like those little phone books next to the payphones.
The ones that were attached to like a big chain and half the pages were gone.
Exactly.
Out of it. Yep. Okay.
And what sort of cryptozoological creature is this head of the payphone industry?
Well, I like the idea that it's some kind of creature, like, you know, back in the good old days, if they were good, the whole idea of switchboards.
Yes.
So some kind of creature that either interfaces with a switchboard, so it has many appendages, so it can either like redistribute all the connections, or it actually plugs into the switchboard itself and everything runs through itself, and it is the physical like switchboard.
I actually love this because have you seen those like clockwork automatons?
Yeah.
Like, so the story is this guy is a clockwork automaton who was originally built in like the 1920s when the phone switchboard industry was going, and he was the interface, and over like the course of 50 years has slowly climbed his way up to actually be the head of payphones and the actual copper network. He's made of copper. He feels an affinity with the network itself. He knows the ins and outs of it. But he's also like, whilst not mortal in the same way that people are, is sort of slowly got what they call, I think it's verdigris is the name of that green patina that's formed on copper.
From copper, when it oxidizes.
As it oxidizes. And so he's sort of like, somewhat like the Statue of Liberty, slowly over time gone from this sort of shiny, coppery thing to this sort of very yeah,
clanky, cruddy,
yeah,
crunchy
and
kind of.
Just
yeah.
as like he is the metaphor as the industry slowly becomes obsolete, he is slowly becoming obsolete as well.
I love it.
That is very Del Toro. Like there's that Clockwork Monster Man.
I also love the idea of automaton because it also reminds me of another Oscar-winning film, Hugo, by Martin Scorsese, which had a fair few automatons in it.
I was going to bring that up when we were talking about this film. It has a very similar feel to The Shape of Water. And Pan's Labyrinth.
Great. See, again, we said it back in. Okay, so this is going to be more of a modern story then.
No, it's not. I'll tell you what we do.
Okay.
We do a really clever thing where it's told simultaneously in the past and in the present. And it's sort of like this dual story, and we jump back and forth between the stories. A little bit Bicentennial Man.
Bicentennial Man,
Robin Williams got that sort of... I think that's obviously... It's more of a story told over the course of centuries.
Also,
and
that's definitely not a high water film that we should be using.
I know, but it's sort of like maybe we bounce back and forth, and as we learn certain things from the present story, it ties back into the past story, and
Oh, excellent. Brilliant. Emotionally complex, thematically complex, the kind of film that you're going to walk out of going, I don't know how I feel about this. Jumping time. Oh, it's great.
What is humanity if can a mechanical man be human? Can they love?
Yep.
Do they just love the copper phone network, or can they form actual connections with real people?
Yep.
What happens when we phase out that technology that's not even needed anymore?
So there's all those kind of like high impact emotional questions, but to add in the intrigue and the spy, not the spy aspect, but like the the political thriller kind of aspect of it, there needs to be some kind of conspiracy theory as to what's going to happen to those payphones. So maybe it's going to be this other company's like, we're going to buy out the payphones, but we're going to keep them all there. We're going to restore them to their pristine working order, add in some new features. You know how some payphones allow you to SMS as well, and they act as internet hotspots and all that. This company's like, we're going to do all of that. And our automaton is like, well, I guess it's the march of progress. But secretly, that company that's going to buy them out is actually going to completely wipe them clear and suck up all the cable, all the copper wiring underneath it as well, and recycle it all for the manufacture of mobile phones.
Oh, right. Okay. They're getting that. I thought we were going to go with the... you know how sometimes these things tie in a little bit with real-world political events? I'm not sure how much real-world stuff the Washington Post was. I thought you were going to say those guys are going to buy it up, but then tap the phones and secretly record the message. Because there was a whole that sort of wiretapping things that went on recently. The CIA and the FBI have all of your NSA, information. They record exactly how long phone calls were for. They flagged certain keywords, and if you say... bomb terrorists blow up, then your recording's flagged and they'll hunt you down.
And you know who... Okay, so then let's say our love interest, NSA officer, listening in on the tapped phone line of our automaton, listening to how he is just like on the verge of breaking down because he knows his time is up and he knows that he's not long for this world in terms of the march of progress and technology.
Yeah.
And... this other person sitting on the other end, just listening to all the calls, develops this like feelings and emotions and a kind of love for this automaton. But it's like a Romeo and Juliet story. They can't be together.
No,
they can't. They're from they're from the opposite ends of the spectrum.
Although somewhat ironically, she's sitting in there intercepting and redirecting phone calls. In the present day, which is what the automaton was originally built to do in the past. And there's these really interesting parallels between that as well.
Exactly. Oh, I love this. I love this. Okay, so do we need? I mean, who's going to be our NSA officer? Because it really could be anyone. It doesn't need to be.
But it has to be someone who's due for an Oscar, who's like been there. I was gonna say Anne Hathaway, but she got one, didn't she?
Did she?
Les Mis, maybe she may have won an Oscar. I vaguely recall seeing her like for so long. It's just like, when is it Anne's turn? When is it Anne's turn? And then she got it, and she's like, I was good enough all along. Yeah.
So we're looking for the female equivalent of Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah, exactly.
Who is that?
Who deserves an Oscar? See, Emma Stone already got her. Anna Kendrick might be sort of due for one. She's been in and around that sort of...
She's been in so many of our films now as well.
I mean, she's been in a few of them. Having said that, she was snubbed this year. Fantastic performance in KNI GHDS. And she's just sort of like, I'm like right on the cusp there of getting an Oscar nomination. hired a hitman to kneecap Margot Robbie. And I said, no, don't do that, Anna. Don't do. You're playing it into her hands. If Margot Robbie gets kneecapped for playing Tonya Harding, it is just going to play into it, and there's no way that she won't win for that performance. Yeah. And Anna's just like, okay, maybe I'll bide my time. Yeah. And then we are now going to pitch to her. Yep. She is going to be the female NSA agent in our Oscar film, and this is going to be her year. This is going to be the performance that gets her that gold statue.
I love it. Great. Let's. Because can you imagine, like, Margot Robbie in that scenario? They'd have to do a live cross to the hospital that she's in.
The poetic irony,
incarcerated with like bandages and like hooked up to like the bed, and she's just there feebly going, "I'd like to thank the Academy," and then just.
I wouldn't be surprised if she kneecapped herself just to win that award. I wouldn't put it past her.
That's like method acting to a whole other degree.
Exactly.
Okay, great. So Anna Kendrick will be our NSA agent. Now, the automaton.
I know we could actually build an automaton.
Yeah.
We've tried in the past to actually design AI. Building an intelligent robotic man might not be great. Yep. I think we get an actor in a suit this time. We get really nice... prosthetics and
we don't even need like Anthony Daniels has been doing C-3PO since the first Star Wars film.
Yeah,
and that's just a guy in a tin suit.
Yeah,
so I mean, there's no reason why we can't do something similar.
All right, so who is this?
Well, it literally could be anyone. I immediately thought of Gary Oldman.
Gary Oldman.
Reason being is that he's been so used to putting stuff on his face.
It's true
for that film he did.
But Gary Oldman isn't due an Oscar. I mean, he
no,
probably
he isn't.
will.
Oh no, okay, you're right. Yeah, we do need.
We need someone who's there who could. Like, I'm thinking,
who has taken over Leonardo DiCaprio's spot as most deserving of an Oscar, but still hasn't won one yet.
I don't know. I'm thinking Michael Fassbender. I'm thinking Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yeah.
I'm thinking like with that sort of robotic person with like fingers that are using to jump at the lines. I'm thinking someone tall and thin.
Benedict Cumberbatch is quite a good because he's got a very thin face as well and very odd.
Did he win for like The Imitation Game or anything like that?
Maybe he did.
I mean, I'm sure he's nominated. I'm sure he's sort of in that category of someone who's due an award.
I mean, are we allowed to do nominated?
Absolutely. I mean, the more they've been nominated, the better.
Yeah. Okay.
Just so long as they haven't won.
All right. I'm looking up. I'm just contacting the Academy now. I'm just gonna quickly ask them. He's been nominated for 3 Laurence Olivier Awards.
Yep. Did he win any of those?
No.
Okay, good. It's getting better.
Oh, no. Yeah, so there was a nominations. He won... Oh, no, he won one of them.
Okay, yeah.
He's also received
Still 2 losses, yeah.
4 Primetime Emmy Award nominations.
Yeah.
Winning Outstanding Lead Actor in a Miniseries or a Movie for Sherlock.
Yeah, sure.
His performance in The Imitation Game earned him an Academy Award nomination for Best Actor. He's received 6 BAFTA nominations, 5 Screen Actors Guild nominations, and 2 Golden Globe nominations. That's quite a lot of nominations.
Exactly. A lot of his hit rate on those is like 8% or something like that.
Low,
so I think he's definitely the automaton.
Yep. So Bimble Bomb, Crumble Bomb.
Yeah, like
the automaton.
I think there's got to be some sort of acronym for and it spells out like, you know, Bertram or something like that. And it's the bionic engineered telecommunications relay and messaging service.
Isn't there an R before the T as well?
Possibly, yeah.
Robotic.
Robotic telecommunications relay and messaging. Yeah. So Bertram, the automaton.
Yep. And what's our NSA agent called?
I think like just Vicky or something.
Vicky, yeah. Okay.
Something like a person's name because she's just a person. Now, I think there needs to be some sort of pressure from a third party person, an older actor in a position who's like, oh, you know, you knew Bertram, you knew this tapping was going on, you had the power to stop it, you were controlling the network, and you still allowed the NSA to invade people's privacy. Where is that pressure coming from? Who is that actor who's like the antagonist of the story, who's trying to keep the NSA agent and Bertram apart, who's put the government inquiry against the network, who's there's definitely that sort of very political, just sort of like wearing a blazer and sort of puts the hands on the hip and whips the blazer back to "Oh, see, you could have done this, see." I mean, it could be Tom Hanks. He
could be Tom Hanks,
pretty
yeah.
much did that in the
No,
post.
but he's won too many Oscar awards. He's
has,
actually
yeah.
won some. Has Sean Connery won any Oscar awards?
He did. He won for the Untouchables.
Oh, I did. Oh, that's right.
And
he
he
did
also
too.
is not making any films
No,
anymore.
he retired many, many years ago. But I mean, could this be the film that coaxes him out of retirement? But he's won an award, so we can't have that. Who isn't sort of? What about Michael Caine?
Michael Caine, I'm sure he's won Oscars.
I don't think he has. I think he's a perennial
Who's
nominated.
Not the Quiet American? What's that one? How to Make an American Quilt? Harry Brown? Did he win for Harry Brown?
Harry Brown.
Yeah, he was like an old curmudgeon guy. It was the English Gran Torino.
Oh, okay. Was it Harry Brown?
I don't know if he won for that.
Let's see here. I'm just contacting the Academy again. They're getting quite sick of me just consistently using the dedicated hotline we've got here, just direct into someone there. Awards and honors. Let's see. Nominated for an Oscar 6 times. Oh, he won. Won for Hannah and Her Sisters.
Hannah and Her Sisters,
which is
Woody Allen. We don't talk about Woody Allen.
All right, so Michael Caine's out.
Michael Caine can't do it.
Dang,
oh no,
that's a shame.
Who's an actor of that sort of same caliber?
Of that same ilk. Why did I immediately think of Sylvester Stallone? That ain't right.
Hasn't he won for like screenplay?
Oh, he won for I'm sure he won for Rocky or something at some point.
I mean, not an acting Oscar, but like definitely like sort of writing.
Yeah. Why is it so hard to cast an actor that hasn't won anything?
We need fantastic actors who are underutilized.
Has Hugh Jackman won any Academy Awards? I don't think he has.
That's not bad, and he's getting to that like we don't actually need him to spend so many hours at the gym deadlifting
That's
to
right.
play this role.
We need him to actually like beef up a little bit, like in terms of just get a bit fat. Let himself go.
Like Russell Crowe did that for like The Insider and stuff like that, or not The Insider, but he definitely let himself go, and then
he's
like
just let himself go naturally.
I don't know. He buffed up for the Superman film.
Did he?
Yeah, he got real into shape for that one, and
then
he
let it
himself go again.
Let it go for the Mummy.
Yeah, he was very blotchy in The Mummy. Hugh Jackman, yeah, sure, I like that.
Hugh Jackman, yeah, we need a like a tubby.
Having said that, so Hugh Jackman played the Wolverine.
Yes.
in KNIGH.
Yes.
So he played Ava Wolverine, but not the Wolverine.
Not the Wolverine.
Anna Kendrick played like the White Rabbit. So it's sort of becoming a bit of a reunion for those guys.
But that's fine. But I think we need to get ourselves into the territory of a lot of A-list Hollywood directors, like Spielberg,
always casting
the Coen brothers, always casting the same kind of people.
Wes Anderson, who was it? Scorsese has done a lot of Leonardo DiCaprio films.
Yep.
So
Sofia Coppola as well. She tends to cast the same actors all over again. So I mean, that's the thing. It's the auteur directors that have like their starting lineup of actors that they cast and everything, unless they can't get them for whatever reason, and they're just like, "Yep, you, and you're in our film. We don't really care who you're sort of."
Do we get Isaac and Najee to direct this one?
Yeah.
Do you reckon like that buzz that he's currently got going will continue
We
through?
need to capitalize on it.
I think that's a good idea. I think
if we can get like even better, if we can get like Isaac and Najee's like both films nominated.
Yeah, that's true. And then
that doesn't happen very often.
And then you'll see it'll cut to them. I mean, I say he. It could. We don't know. Could be anyone.
Just cuts to a blank chair.
Yeah, an empty seat, and it's just sort of like conceptually, who is this person nominated for 2 separate films this year, and we still don't even know what's going to happen if they win.
Yeah.
Who's going to make the speech?
Yep.
I think the shortest speech ever at the Oscars was 2 words by Alfred Hitchcock, which was "Thank you." He just took the stat, and then I think someone actually may have beaten it like the following year, where they just said "Thanks," and just walked away.
Yeah. So I reckon when we win,
Isaac and Najee, the shortest ever speach, no words, because
just like
the person,
curt nod, maybe a tip of the hat, and then off you go. I think what we should do, we'll have someone in a morph suit, a green morph suit. Somehow we'll interrupt the live Oscar broadcast and comp in someone or something.
Yeah.
Like picking up the statuette or statuettes. Let's face it.
I mean, we are going broad spectrum costuming.
Yep.
Absolutely, like a automaton mechanical man. soundtrack. I really like the idea of you have like the almost like how the modem, the old dial-up modems, you got ding, 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 ding. So you have this like electronic techno-y stuff for the new stuff, but this sort of like older. So we get like one of those not necessarily Philip Glass, but someone who's doing something Philip Glass-esque
like
to come through.
Ben Burt style.
I don't know Ben Burt, but sure, he's on. He's on board.
You know his work. He did all of Star Wars.
Sure. Was his name John Williams?
No, for sound effects.
Oh, sound effects. I'm
Sorry,
going for
about music?
score.
Oh,
like
my bad.
I'm thinking we get like one of those guys, like an electronic mixer who has all these sort of conceptual.
Like popular DJ here.
Yeah,
and
Deadmau5. Deadmau5 will do it for us.
Yeah,
sure,
for sure.
Absolutely.
So Deadmau5 can compose for the modern segments of the film, and then we get an old timey composer to do the old-timey bits.
Yeah, and then they'll work together collaboratively and do this like really fantastic
Yeah.
sort of setting. And then obviously double costume. Like we'll win 2 awards for costume for the same film because it's set in 2 separate time periods simultaneously.
Yep.
Obviously the further in time you go back, the more sort of color correcting, grading, cinematography stuff, period piece, and
Perfect.
then we've got so many opportunities for awards here. It's
it's crazy.
It's outstanding.
We are going to win so many awards.
I think
that's the last thing we've got to figure out now, because you can't have on that Oscar PDF that they send out untitled film from Isaac and AJ like that. Isaacand. Sorry.
No. Isaacand is his first name.
Isaacand.
No, you're putting a D in there.
Yep.
Isaacand.
Yeah, Isaacand.
And his last name is Najay. Isaac and Najay.
Oh, so this is like it's like the Lord Miller problem from
exactly
the other week. Yep. Okay. So yeah, we can't just have untitled film.
No.
In italics on the PDF.
So what were the ones we looked at? We looked at 3 billboards outside Ebbing, Missouri.
Yep.
That's a bit of a mouthful.
The Post.
That feels like a Wes Anderson. The Curious Case of the Hymenopteryx, sort of like
too whimsical.
Lots of whimsical. The Post is just ba-boom, like right there and to the point.
That says like hard political thriller.
And The Shape of Water is a little bit more sort of poetic. It's like, oh, what is the color of the wind? So
if we can somehow mix the harshness of The Post with a little bit of the touch of the metaphorical floweriness of The Shape of Water, then we'll be on a winner. So. So The Post has 2 words. The Shape of Water has 4 words. So clearly we need a 3-word film title.
I think copper is like such an important part of our story. I kind of feel like it needs to sort of fit in there in some capacity.
Yep. And this is about like phone tap, the copper tap.
Tap's a bit too harsh.
Taps, yeah.
I feel the transmission, is that like
the copper transmission?
Yeah, I mean that feels like the imitation game is sort of like the theory of everything sort of fits into that sort of like style of.
Yep.
Is it just the transmission or just transmission?
Transmission. Oh, we go. Yeah, 1 word.
Transmission. I kind of like.
That also wins awards because you get stuff like Arrival by Denis Villeneuve, which is quite that's Oscar heavy. That's Oscar baity. Transmission. That sounds like a film that's been released before, though.
It sounds like a car film, really, doesn't it? It sounds like, transmission. Who's going from first gear to top gear?
You know what it
transmission.
is? It's a budget version of Transformers.
Oh, it's somewhere between Transformers and Too Fast, Too Furious.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, I'm surprised we haven't done that already. So we can't call it transmission.
No.
Damn it.
The Copper Connection.
Copper Connection. Ooh, Connection's great.
Connection's great.
Because connection is like a phone connection. It's a connection between
love
people.
Connection, yeah.
Connection. The connection?
The connection.
The connection.
How about like, you're connected?
No, that just sounds like you've got mail.
That's right, yeah, it does. No, that's, okay. Connection. The connection.
The connection is where it
needs to be there, yeah. Because, like, imagine, like, you see that on a list, and you're like, what's that film about? What's going on there? That could be anything.
Yeah.
And then when you watch the film, you literally realize it is everything.
Yeah, exactly. It's literally connected. It's figuratively connected. It's metaphorically connected.
Yep.
Ironically connected.
Yep. Disconnected connected.
Yeah.
When you walk out of the film and wonder what you just watched.
Alliteratively connected.
Yep. Onomatopoeically connected.
Yeah, exactly. Adverb connected. So many English literature analysis words we can bring in here.
All right, great. So connected.
Wasn't the connection?
The connection.
The connection.
I immediately forgot our film name. The Connection.
Yeah.
Great. Love it. I think that's a wrap.
It is indeed.
As per usual, housekeeping for the week. If you haven't been keeping an eye on our Facebook feed, then what are you doing with your life?
I actually got some feedback on this.
Oh, really?
One of my friends said, Isaac, your emoji clues are too hard.
Oh.
And to be fair, one of the films was Titan. And I did a picture of a tie and a picture of a tin. And I went, people will get that that's Titan. And it really looked more like a business soup. So I apologize for that. I'll with the films being Oscar-nominated films, there'll be a smaller pool to choose from. It should be a little bit easier this week.
Yeah.
Titan was a little bit of an obscure film. People didn't get Deadpool. And it was a skull and someone swimming.
Yeah.
And I did it twice because it was Deadpool 2. I thought that was all right.
Yeah, it's weird enough that you say that because when you sent me the emoji clues before you put them on Facebook, I'm like, what's that swimming one?
Yeah, you knew what 3 trailers we'd watched. You'd watched them. We'd narrowed them down to 3, and you still couldn't get the swimming one. That's okay.
Anyway.
If it's a difficult one like Titan,
Yep.
I might put a few clues up. I really wanted a picture of like Saturn and to put a moon next to it, but there's no Saturn emoji. There should be emojis for all of the planets.
I know. The emoji consortium is really dropping the ball here.
Yeah.
I've got another direct line to them.
That's true.
So,
I did notice in the most recent update there's now a T-Rex.
Yeah.
So I just feel as though
There's more coming.
need to watch trailers that have dinosaurs in them now that we've got like...
So this show should really just be about what emojis we can find.
Exactly. Instead of the other way around, me coming up with clues for trailers
the emojis.
Based on the available emojis, we should just watch trailers that I already know we have emojis that I can describe with. So.
All right, great. We'll do that. So those clues appear every Monday, I believe.
Don't tell anyone. We're actually recording on a Monday night. So if you're waiting for the clues, I'll put them up now. Technically, it's still a Monday. And then, we'll put up the trailers on a Tuesday.
Trailers on the Tuesday.
We'll give you a bit more time because I'm sure... Is there a billboard emoji? Is there an Ebbing, Missouri emoji?
There might be.
There could be.
I don't know. Can you ebb something? Can we put a tide, perhaps, to show that the tide is ebbing?
Is there a billboard? I could
bill?
Yeah, who knows?
Dollar bill with a board?
Yeah, sure.
There we go.
Absolutely.
There, see? If you're listening to this and somehow you are... you have the ability to travel back in time, you could quite easily cheat and answer these clues.
Exactly.
And you'll get fame and fortune, just like Indiana Jones.
Fortune and glory.
Fortune and glory, sorry. Oh, how did I screw that up? So those, Mondays for the clues, Tuesdays for the trailers, Wednesdays for the episodes. And that's all happening on Facebook, where you can talk to us, you can post suggestions, you can mess with us with our emoji clues as well, as certain ex-employees of ours tend to do. But anyway, we're also on Twitter for some reason, at Movie Film Studio. Don't bother going there. It's really just a deserted wasteland of links directly to our episodes. One day that'll get fixed. We are moviefilmstudios.net is our website, where you can find our bios, all of our previous episodes, and a list of every single film we've ever made.
Yeah.
And a nice handy page for Mafuzawidada. Are you proud of me that I'm actually getting that right now?
It took you a long time. It took you us being ousted from our headquarters to actually finally learn the name of that.
It'll take me ages to get the name of our director down. So Isaac and Najay. There we go.
Isaac and Najay.
Najay.
You don't need to put so much of a pause. He doesn't have... It's not Isaac and the Rock Najay, and we've removed... It's just Isaac and Najay.
I'll get there. And
to be fair, you just need to say Isaac and AJ, which is Isaac and AJ.
True.
And it just sounds like Isaac and AJ.
True.
Because that's where the error has come from. So just say Isaac and AJ.
Isaac and AJ. There we go. Great. I can do it. We're also on YouTube if for some reason you want to listen to our podcast on a video website, and we're on Podbean. That's the one we have. Yep. iTunes, and pretty much anywhere else you can get podcasts, I guess. And that's it.
Yeah, so I suppose that all that remains is to thank you all for listening again this week.
Indeed.
I've been Isaac.
And I've been AJ.
Roll credits.
March winds and April showers.